Welcome back to Autism Live. We are joined right now via Skype by Yael Calhoun. Hopefully I've said her name correctly. And she is coming to us from Green Tree Yoga. Yael, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love being able to share our resources.
I love it too, and we've asked you to come and talk with us a little bit about, I shared with you that we've been talking about mindfulness on the show and how important that is. You're with Green Tree Yoga. I'm going to let you take it away and talk to us about what you do.
Okay, great. So are we looking at the first slide?
We will be right now.
Okay, wonderful. So I would like to share with you some ideas on using simple stretching and mindful breathing, which is also called yoga, for people who are on the spectrum and also for their caregivers, for teachers, parents, and healthcare professionals, because self-care is so important. And as you can see from the next slide, as Shannon mentioned, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we provide yoga for people, benefits of yoga for people outside of the yoga studio, so underserved populations. And then, as you can see from the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit about why yoga, this simple stretching, is so effective in helping people who are on the spectrum. So just very quickly, this is a laundry list of reasons, and we'll talk a little bit about more with each one. Stress management and self-regulation, so affect regulation, body awareness, flexibility, coordination and balance, social interaction, self-confidence, physical strength. And these simple stretches and mindful breathing exercises also incorporate deep pressure, repetition, relaxation, and visual cues. So that becomes very important in why yoga is helpful. And then, as you can see from the next slide, yoga, these things allow people to become present, to be present. And what I'd like to do is just to take a moment and do a short yoga break. And these are available for free on our website. So these resources that I'm sharing with you are available for you for free. So if you like, just as a person who is a caregiver or a parent or a teacher of someone on the spectrum, come forward on your chair and you can watch me and do this with me if you like. So palms down on your legs, breathe in, push down on your hands and let the shoulders lift. And as you breathe out, just feel that easy release of the shoulders. And then let your hands come down to your sides. So we're going to do 3 shoulder rolls back. So if you like, on a breath in, shoulders lift. And as you breathe out, roll the shoulders back and down. As you breathe in, shoulders lift. And as you breathe out, shoulders back and down. Inhale, shoulders lift. Exhale, and just notice where you feel the stretch as you roll your shoulders back and down. Inhale, shoulders lift. We'll do 3 forward. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, shoulders lift. And exhale, forward and down. Sorry, not back. And inhale, long, slow breath out, forward and down. And come back to sitting tall. All right, and then just notice how you feel. Notice how you feel. Then, as you can see from the next slide, what we're doing with this simple stretching and breathing is actually rewiring the brain. And we know people on the spectrum have different neuronal challenges. So this is a way to help people rewire the brain so that they can find more joy in life. All right, and then we'll skip the next slide. The water drop, we just did the break. And then the next slide. Yoga helps, these stretches help to build body awareness. And these pictures are from our art and yoga for autism summer camp. Yoga helps to build body awareness. So as you're breathing, as you're moving your hands, as you're pressing down on your feet, you're building body awareness. And as you can see from the next slide, it also helps people to build awareness through grounding, through feeling the tactile stimulation of feeling the body on the floor or the mat or the wall or the chair, just building that sense. And as you see in the next slide, it's very important for building self-regulation, for helping people to build those skills. And these comments are from autism moms that have had kids that have done our camp. And you can see these kids are all practicing a breath, which we will practice in our free yoga game in a few minutes. And then, as you can see from the next slide, this is about helping people build these lifelong skills for affect regulation. So being able to switch from the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight, to the parasympathetic, which is the calm, the rest, relax. And these breathing breaks can help both children and adults learn how to self-regulate. And as you can see from the next slide, these simple stretches and breathing help people learn to tolerate bodily sensations that could be some kind of a trigger. So if when they start to feel upset, they can do a breathing break, do a simple stretch, and just work through that feeling of upset so they aren't triggered. And the next slide shows that these simple yoga can help to build connection. Right? It helps people to build connection and social skills. The next slide, sense of control. So if you look at this is from our art and yoga class one summer. You can see people are doing different things. People get to choose how they do a yoga stretch, and it changes from week to week. And the next slide shows boundaries, hands and feet on the floor, just getting a sense of where a person begins and where a person ends. We know with kids on the spectrum, sometimes that can be challenging. And the next slide, it helps to build strength and balance because these poses are physical. And kids love to see their personal growth from one time to another. And along with that, the next slide shows building motor skills, learning where the body is in space, developing the strength to move in certain ways. And the next slide shows these stretches and poses also help to build flexibility and focus. So as you're balancing, you're practicing both of those things. Now I was asked about, in the next slide, I was asked about finding a yoga practice in the community. Some of the considerations before you take your child to a yoga class, either in a community or at a yoga studio, know that these kids' yoga classes typically are very noisy. There's a lot of visualization. You can go to a class that everyone's dressed in Star Wars costumes, playing loud music. The language is not simple. So it's not a literal language. So what I would suggest is that perhaps if you're looking for a yoga class, maybe you go and observe the kids' class near you, and just even for 5 minutes, you'll get a sense if there's too much stimulation, if it's too noisy, if there are too many children in the room. So these are things to look for. And if there isn't a special needs yoga class at a studio near you, you may want to talk to the yoga studio about perhaps developing one. All right, and so to our free resources, the next slide. These are free resources on our website. These are for you. They're yoga breaks, and you can watch them or you can listen to them. And there are there's one that's 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, and 4 minute. And then there's one 10-minute guided meditation, which is body-based, which can be helpful. And taking care of yourself is not being selfish, it's being practical, right? If you get sick, if your cortisol and epinephrine levels stay too high all of the time, you are not fully available to be present to help the people who need you to help them. So taking a 5-minute yoga break every day, maybe do it for a week and see if it makes a difference in your day. Make that commitment to your self-care. All right, and then the next slide shows, this is a game that we developed. I worked with a social worker who spent 30 years in New York working with kids on the spectrum, and also with a pediatrician who specializes in working with kids with special needs. And we developed this game. It's a home game, and you can learn all about it on our website. There's a 3-minute video to watch on how to do it with your kids, and there's also, if you want to know why, more on why, there's a little longer video. So there's the how, and then there's the how and the why. So it is helping kids to learn affect regulation, but also there's some social engagement, because you're providing them with the opportunity to do a yoga break when they're feeling stressed, when they notice that you're feeling stressed, or they invite you to do one, or they teach it to a friend. And having worked with an autism program in my city, the feedback that I got is that teachers would actually see kids on the spectrum on the playground saying to a friend, "Oh, don't get mad, do this yoga break," and she would teach it to her friend. So let's go to the next slide. So remember that this is, as you teach this to your child, this is also a yoga break for you. So you're also decreasing your stress levels. So let's just do 2 of the breathing breaks, and then we'll wrap this up. 2 of the breathing breaks that you can teach to your children, and these are favorites. These are tried and true. One little 4th grader told me that she went home, she felt like putting her fist through the wall, but she did fist breathing instead. Another child told me that she went home and she taught it to her brother, and then I didn't know that she just shared. She said, "Yeah, my brother's 12, he's in a wheelchair and he has autism." And I said, "How did he like the break?" And she said he loved it. So let's just do the 2 breathing breaks very quickly. They are fist breathing and balloon breath, which are the 2 favorites, and these are part of the game. So if you like, sit with your palms up. This is 5 breaths. You take a deep breath in and make tight fists, tight, tight, tight. And as you breathe out, let the fists release. Long, strong exhales. Breath in, tight fists. Breath out. Just feel the fist release. When you breathe in, tight fists. Breathe out, release. Breath in, tight fists. Breathe out, release. Breath in, tight fists. And breath out, release. And the second 5-part breath is, if you like, put the palms together. Just the fingertips stay touching. So hands are together in front of your heart. Breathe in, palms apart, but the fingertips stay pressed. Slow breath out, palms press. 4 more. Breathe in, palms apart. Slow exhale, palms press. Breath in, palms apart. Slow breath out, palms press. Breath in, palms apart. Breathe out, palms press. Breath in, palms apart. Breathe out, palms press. Maybe just take a moment and notice how you feel, and then let your hands come down. So that is part of the free game for helping kids learn how to self-regulate. And so just very quickly to wrap up on the next slide, these 2 things are not free, but you would get a 15% autism-live discount. And and any other discount that you think you might need. We just really want to make these materials available to folks. One is the DVD CD kit, which is for kids with special needs, and a coloring book, which we have used and people really enjoy. And the next slide is our art and yoga curriculum kit, again, for kids with special needs and autism. And that incorporates the yoga poses with art projects, and it has a training, kind of a trainer on how to teach this, because it's very different than teaching typical kids yoga. All right, and then as I said, available for a discount, and if you need more of a discount, just email me and let me know. And then the last slide is our contact information if you have any questions on how you might be able to introduce this to your kids' school, because we have yoga break programs that we do in special needs classrooms or at a local yoga studio or community center. So that is basically, in a nutshell, a small nutshell, what we have to offer, both, again, for self-care and for people on the spectrum.
Wonderful, wonderful information. We thank you so much. And tell the folks at home where your yoga studio is.
We are in Salt Lake City in Utah. And we actually, our studio is in Sandy, but most of our programs, we go to places and do programs. We're invited. So we'll go to schools or community centers or other places. So that's how we get our information out to people.
And do you ever fly to other locations if somebody wants you to come and speak?
Absolutely. We do webinars. In fact, I'm doing one at Ohio State tomorrow, a webinar. But I also fly out and do programs. Absolutely.
What a wonderful, wonderful addition to our community this information is. And I know that there are going to be many people who are going to be thrilled to have these free resources. We thank you so much for the work that you do and for taking the time to tell us about it here at Autism Live.
Well, it was my pleasure, and I hope to hear from people. Just put Autism Live in the subject area, and I would, as I said, if you need a discount or more of a discount or whatever information, I'll be happy to do a phone consultation, whatever would be helpful to you folks. So,
thank you so much. And
thank you.
We look forward to talking to you in the future. Take care.
Okay. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wonderful, great information. And I did the exercises, and sometimes you feel like, when you start these things, a lot of times my head, that not helpful voice will go, what is this really going to help? But the truth is, I started this show feeling very discombobulated. I feel a lot less discombobulated, and my sense of humor is back.